Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Technology Mafia, and today we are comparing two lenses that compete head-to-head. And these are two lenses that you guys, the viewers, have requested a comparison between for a while. The two lenses are the Sony 18-105 f4 and the Sony/Zeiss 16-70 f4. First, let's take a look at both of these lenses up close. Here are the two lenses next to each other, and they are built very similar. In fact, the focusing ring and the zoom ring on both of these lenses looks almost identical. Now, the 18-105 G lens is bigger. It is about 1.5 inches longer. However, this lens, when you zoom it in and out, does not move. The barrel stays in place, whereas the Zeiss lens, when you zoom in to 70 millimeters, extends longer than the 18-105 lens. Both of these lenses are f4 constant aperture. The front glass element is larger on the 18-105. Around the back, both lenses have metal mounts with all the proper connections. Both of these lenses have optical steady shot, so they are great for video. And in particular, the 18-105 is a great lens for video because it has power zoom. So you can zoom in smoothly and get some great shots. So let's take a look at some sample images from both of these lenses side by side to see which one is the better buy. Here is the image that I am starting with. This is a portrait of my wife. On the left, I will keep the 18-105 lens. On the right, I will be looking at the 16-70 lens, just so that it is not confusing. As you can see, the settings at the top are the same for both images, 1/400th of a second at f4 and ISO 100. And I tried to match the zoom distance as best I could with both of these lenses. It was a little bit difficult to get the precise, in this case 35 millimeters with the 18-105. And with the 16-70, even though it is labeled, it's not very easy to know exactly if you're at 35 or maybe 36 millimeters, for example. That is why some of these images may look a little bit more zoomed in than the others. Anyway, let's take a look at this one in particular. All right, so there is a bit of a difference here. The 16-70 is noticeably sharper. Looking at the hair, there's a bit more sharpness there. Even though the 18-105 was focused on the face, you could see that the Zeiss lens does do a better job of hair detail on this side. Let's look at the bokeh just in the background here. The bokeh looks better on the 18-105. Next image here, the 18-105 on the left and 16-70 on the right. Now, I don't think that either one of these lenses is going to focus on my wife, so let's check, and I'm correct. She is not in focus in either image, which is fine because she was too far away for the camera to recognize that that is where the focus should be. But let's take a look at sharpness all around. So cropping into the basketball hoop. Interesting. So in this case, I think the 18-105 does a better job here. There's also less of that color fringing or chromatic aberration. You can see that there's quite a bit with the chain here on the 16-70, less with the 18-105, but the 16-70 is a little sharper. Pretty interesting. Here on the left, just the trees. So looking at the grass and just the branches, I think that the Zeiss is sharper, but it is very slight. Very, very slight. The lines in the corner, I'd have to give that to the Zeiss. Better color, and it's a little bit sharper. Not too noticeable. Center sharpness is a slight win for the Zeiss, but very similar. I'd say that the advantage goes slightly to the Zeiss, but the 18-105 does a good job here. Next set of images, both of these shot at 18 millimeters, and let's take a look at detail and sharpness. So we'll start with the upper left corner. Okay, so to me it looks like there is more sharpness on the Zeiss with the branches. This looks a bit fuzzier, but not very staggering difference. Let's look at the bottom corner, and particularly that stump. Here you can see more of a difference. The colors are a little better with the Zeiss lens, and the sharpness is definitely a little bit better. Center sharpness. Looking at the post, it's about the same. The Zeiss is maybe 10% better, but very similar. Upper right hand corner here, I'd have to give this win to the Zeiss. Just looking at the branches, the 18-105 is a bit soft in that corner. And the bottom right, I'd have to give this also to the Zeiss. 18-105 is a bit softer. Both of these shots were done at f8. This is a pretty good example of what you will get on the wide side from both lenses. I'd have to give this win to the Zeiss. Next, I wanted to test the long end of the Zeiss lens. So both of these shots are done at 70 millimeters, f4, ISO 100, 1/60th of a second. And what is interesting here is, well, there's very little difference. Looking at the hair, it's about the same. Bokeh looks identical. Both subjects, in this case the eye, looks relatively sharp. Let's zoom in and take a look. All right. Interesting. So if you look at just the pupil, the 18-105 does a better job here. Yeah, and look at the eyelashes. Surprising, but I think that I have to give this at 70 millimeter to the 18-105. It's a bit sharper. You could see it in the lower hairs here. The Zeiss kind of falls apart and it's very soft right here. A bit of a surprising result. Let's see if there's any difference, anything noticeable with the hair. Not much. It's a bit softer on the Zeiss, but in this particular case, at 70 millimeters, I think that the 18-105 is the better lens. Next, I wanted to look at lens flare from both of these. On the left is the 18-105, and on the right, the 16-70 again. What's interesting about this image is not only the flare, but the size of the sun rays in each case. The 18-105 has a much bigger sun. If I zoom in all the way, you could see that it takes up the entire screen. The flare is very noticeable and it is very large. It's green. Kind of cool looking. On the Zeiss lens, the flare is not as big, but it is divided into two sections, as you can see here. So let me know which one of these two you guys prefer. If I'm looking at the image sharpness, there is a bit more color fringing with the Zeiss lens, which is disappointing. However, the lens is definitely sharper if you're looking at the branches and the leaves in the corner. Let's go out to this side. Look at all that purple. Not good. 18-105 has less of that color fringing, but it is not quite as sharp. Now, there are a few of you asking about video performance from each of these lenses. Which is the better lens for video users? Both of them are so similar. Both have optical steady shot, as I mentioned before. Both are relatively smooth at zooming in and out. One has power zoom, the other one you zoom in using the zoom ring manually, and both perform similarly when it comes to autofocus. But here's some sample footage from the 18-105. The autofocus on the 18-105 lens does a good job keeping up. Now here is the Zeiss lens. From my view, both of these lenses are doing the exact same thing very well. Now, just to show you how smooth you can zoom in using each of these lenses, here is the 18-105 zooming from 18 millimeters all the way to 105, and now zooming all the way out from 105 back to 18. And here is the Zeiss lens going from 16 millimeters all the way to 70 millimeters, and now again going from 70 millimeters back to 16. Now I tried to be as smooth as I could be with the Zeiss lens, but I think when it comes to zooming in and out, the 18 to 105 is a smoother lens. So what is the conclusion? Which is the lens that you should go out and buy? When I purchased the Zeiss lens, I really thought that I would sell the 18 to 105 and I would be done and I would move on. I'm a bit surprised by the results from the sample images. I really thought that the Zeiss 16 to 70 would be the clear winner, and it really wasn't in every situation. At 70 millimeters, I think it falls apart and it becomes a softer lens than the 18 to 105. After 50 millimeters, the 18 to 105 either keeps up or outperforms the 16 to 70. From 16 millimeters to 50 millimeters, I think that the Zeiss is the clear winner, but is that worth the $300 premium? It is sharper, however, it is not overwhelmingly sharper than the 18 to 105. Comment down below, let me know what you guys thought about the sample images and which one of these two lenses you would keep if you had both of them in your possession. I know that I will end up selling off one, I just don't know which one at this particular point in time. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys for all the support and all the likes. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button below. And stay tuned for future videos as I am continuing my quest for the ultimate 3 to 4 lens bundle for the a6000, a6300, and a6500. Thank you all and have a nice day. Bye-bye. I've used the Zeiss lens more, but that just might be because it's a Zeiss lens. And I'm a fanboy of Zeiss. I just like Zeiss so much.